Okay, coming back with another Blu-ray DVD update. We're gonna start things off with two new Blu-rays, and then we'll get into some Blu-ray upgrades, and then some DVDs at the end. So let's start things off with Homefront here. This is a pretty great action movie, actually. When it first came out, I kind of skimmed over it. I didn't really watch it. Then I finally did get around to renting it and watching it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it the first time, but when I picked it up here for really cheap on Blu-ray, my pawn shop was having a really awesome Blu-ray sale. I got it really cheap, rewatched it, and it was excellent. A lot better the second time through. It's just very classic old school action film, um, with lots of shootouts and, somewhat cheesy dialogue, but a good story overall. And yeah, James Franco, really great performance from him as the main bad guy. Chuck Zito's also pretty good in this movie in his little role. Winona Ryder, Jason Statham, being Jason Statham, but probably one of the better performances from him, and he's kick-ass in it. And yeah, the first time I watched this, I did not even realize that it was the screenplay. You can see right there is Sylvester Stallone. I didn't know that. And it definitely feels like an old school action film from Stallone's heyday. So if you haven't seen Homefront and you're into this sort of thing, that sort of movie, definitely check this one out. You may have overlooked it when it first came out. And to get it really cheap like that, I really enjoyed it. So another action movie that just came out that I'm really happy to own, and it completes the trilogy, is Taken 3. Starring Liam Neeson, obviously, Maggie Grace, the girl who plays Jean Grey, I can't remember her name, and Forrest Whitaker. And pretty much all his friends come back from the original two movies. I'm not a big fan of Taken 2. I thought it was okay, the action scenes, but even them, they're like really shaky. Like, I don't know, it's shot odd, but still good action. The first one's definitely the best of the three, but I didn't mind here Taken 3. It was kind of silly and a little over the top and dumb story-wise, but the action is all there. Liam Neeson's badass in this one, as you expect, and they even kind of get some classic lines, like, reorganized for this movie, and I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, like I said, overall a great action flick, and better than 2, not better than 1, but still a great Taken film. If you haven't seen it and you like the Taken films, you should, but this isn't a must-see or anything. So definitely check out Taken 3. Liam Neeson is fucking kick-ass in that movie. Beats the shit out of everybody, as you have come to expect from Liam Neeson. Anyways, moving along. Here's some upgraded DVD or Blu-ray section here. I got Mel Gibson with the slipcover on Blu-ray here for like $2.50 on Blu-ray at a pawn shop. It was really awesome to come across it for that cheap with the slip. I love this movie. I was just saying a while ago how I really wanted to upgrade this from the DVD copy, and I did, and it's really great. I've already talked about this movie a few times, but if you don't know what it's about this age like criminal guy who ends up in Mexico in this fucked up jail, and it's just sort of him trying to deal with his surroundings now, and really great, kind of like a spiritual sequel to Payback, starring Mel Gibson. So yeah, great movie. Really happy to have that on Blu-ray with the slipcover. So moving along, another Blu-ray that I'm really happy to upgrade to, King Kong. Now this is a movie that really looks great on Blu-ray, and it definitely shines on this format. So many of the great scenes that I'd seen before just look so much better on Blu-ray. It includes the theatrical and extended versions. The extended version I don't think I'd seen before, because there's a few extra scenes that, like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are some extra scenes, like when they're in the swamp. I didn't remember that part at all. So, I don't know. I enjoyed rewatching this on Blu-ray. Again, no, actually, I got this new. It was part of, like, a 3 for $20, I think it was. 3 for something, anyways. It was definitely not 20. It was a really good deal. But King Kong, Peter Jackson's version of it, excellent adaptation. This does have quite a few little bonus features, but definitely not as much as the DVD releases have. So I definitely held on to my DVD copy, the 2-disc edition, so I have the supplementals. So pretty cool. Definitely check out King Kong if you like big monster, action films, and you haven't seen that. That is definitely a quality one of those sort of movies. Moving along, Unstoppable. Here's another movie that I just got recently on DVD. I came across it really cheap at a. I think this was not part of the deal with King Kong. It was a different deal at a Walmart. I got it really cheap along with like 2 movies for cheap. But whatever. Denzel Washington, Chris Pine. I've already talked about this movie as well. But if you don't know, it's just about this train that kind of gets, by an accident, gets out of control and it can't be stopped. And it's about these two. One guy's like the aged train driver guy, and then the newbie, and it's just about that relationship and stopping the train. Really great action flick, directed by Tony Scott. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Definitely one of the best collaborations for those two. Tony Scott and Denzel Washington worked together tons over the years before Tony Scott died. But anyways, let's move right along. Here's another great upgrade that I'm really happy to get on Blu-ray here. Goon. This movie is one of those movies that every time you watch it, it just keeps getting better. A hockey comedy, if you didn't know what it's about this kind of like a loser guy who doesn't really do much with his life. He's a Dumbo, and but he's really good at kicking ass. He kind of stumbles his way into being on a hockey team through some funny events, and he kind of takes over as the team goon. And it's pretty funny how it all plays out. I've talked about this one before because this is an upgrade. But definitely check out Goon if you haven't seen it. It's very rewatchable. Every time I've watched it now, more quotes come out of it. So many funny lines, and yeah. And a little fun fact: this is Jay Baruchel, the guy from This Is the End, and a few other, collaborations here with Seth Rogen and a few other people, Evan Goldberg. But Evan Goldberg and Jay here wrote this movie, so it's really well done. I believe it has a pretty well-known director in the comedy scene. I'm not sure. One second. Oh, maybe not. I'm not sure who that guy is. Michael Douse or something like that. But definitely check out Goon. It's an awesome movie if you're Canadian too. It's just got a perfect Canadian feel to it. And yeah, check it out if you have not. Multiple rewatcher. That's what I say about that movie. You'll want to watch that a few times to get the most out of it. Moving along, another upgrade. I'm really happy to get this. Chasing Amy on Blu-ray. I love this movie. Probably one of my favorite Kevin Smith films, and I was really happy to see that it came with a lot of the special features. Unlike the other Kevin Smith Blu-ray transfers, or whatever you want to call them, versions of the movies, they don't come with like any special features. You'll be lucky to get a commentary, but this is just jacked. Has everything from the DVD, and then I think a little more. But I love Chasing Amy. Great movie. But these two comic book writers, and one falls in love with a lesbian, and it's just about that relationship and how it all plays out. And it takes place in the View Askew universe, as you can see. Jay and Silent Bob right there. God love Chasing Amy. Finger cuffs, and just so many funny lines throughout this movie. That's so funny with Hooper. But yeah, not much to say. I've already talked about this movie as well. I'm just happy to be upgrading it. This came with King Kong in that 3 for whatever deal. I just can't remember what the third movie was. Maybe? No, I just can't remember. Maybe it was Unstoppable. I'm having a little bit of a brain fart. Anyways, moving along. The Departed here. This is a great film on Blu-ray to have. Martin Scorsese modern classic gangster film. And yeah, stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Alec Baldwin's also in this movie. Quite a few other familiar people. Martin Sheen, I believe. Ray Winston, and there's a really well-known actress in this movie. I just can't remember her name. I guess she's not that well-known if I can't even remember her name, but whatever. Martin Scorsese classic film here. Definitely check it out. If you don't know what it's about, just briefly, it's about these Leonardo DiCaprio plays this like kind of like guy who grew up in the gangster part of Boston, and he grew up to be a cop. Or no, to be a cop. He kind of breaks out of his gangster ties, like the Roots. goes and bees a cop, and he goes and bees a cop. Yes, that's some good grammar. Whatever. And then Matt Damon goes and bees a cop, but he's, you know, been bred by Jack Nicholson, or whatever you want to call it, to infiltrate and give him info about the cops. So it's pretty cool how they're both playing off each other, and it's really great how it all plays out. Lots of gunfire. So yeah, that's it for the Blu-ray upgrades and the Blu-ray grabs. Nice little chunk of Blu-ray. The majority of them are all upgrades, and I'm happy with that, because I love upgrading DVDs and getting sometimes watching Blu-rays, it's like rewatching the movie for the first time. They just look so much better. Not always the case, but sometimes. Let's move right along. We're in the DVD section of the pickups here. Got a bunch of good deals at hawk shops and pawn shops. I went on quite a big tour. Went to a bunch of little towns in a big city. I went to a bunch of different pawn shops. I scored some few cool little titles here and there. But right here, for $1, Don't Try This at Home, Steve-O Video Part 2. I do want to get the rest of Steve-O videos. There's a Part 1. There's a Part 3, which is really great. And then there's the early years, which is cool as hell. But I'll have to find those sometime soon. But yeah, this is really cool, like a tour video. And there's lots of stunts and everything that you come to expect from Steve-O. Really great stunts in this one. And it features Preston Leahy, Wee Man, Chris Pontius, Dee, oh yeah, that his really hot girlfriend, Steve, I'm not sure who that is, and Ryan Simonetti, who's an awesome skateboarder. So yeah, this is a really cool movie. I think it's only like 80 minutes, if that. So yeah, it's just one of those cool Steve-O DVDs. And like I said, I definitely want to pick up the rest of them to add to my Jackass collection. And definitely one day down the line get Wild Boys, but they have to come down in price, because they're a little expensive on Amazon, everywhere I see them. Anyways, moving along. The Last Boy Scout, an early Tony Scott film here, starring Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. I don't remember a ton about this movie. I know it's like a buddy cop sort of action film. That might not even be exactly what's going on. I just can't remember. Been a long time. Definitely want to rewatch The Last Boy Scout. But yeah, for $1, I was definitely going to give it a re-watch try, because like I said, I can't even remember anything really other than good action. So yeah, definitely need to give this a go. Produced by Joel Silver and also written by Shane Black, so that's encouraging. That's the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon, Iron Man 3, quite a few other classic action films over the years. Moving on. Leaving Las Vegas. This is a movie I know nothing about other than like the premise, and over the years I've seen lots of people talk about this movie. You know, I've seen it on TV, and I've just always went over it, and I've heard nothing but good things. I think Nicolas Cage may have won an Oscar for his role. I know somebody did, but yeah, I'm just buying this on DVD. Like, I was gonna just hunt it down on Blu-ray and just pick it up, but I found it at a pawn shop for $1, so I figured it's best if I can find it for $1, just give it a go, and if I really dig the movie, I'll pick it up on Blu-ray. And apparently all it is about is Nicolas Cage plays this kind of like depressed, what is he, like a writer or something like that, and he just decides he wants to kill himself, and he goes to Las Vegas to do that, and he gets all drunk, and then he meets this girl, and what have you from that point on. It sounds really interesting. I've heard good things. Nick Darden a while ago on he's a YouTuber who does awesome pickup videos on YouTube. He was talking about this. He picked it up on Blu-ray, so I'm really interested to give it a go. He talked it up big time, so definitely want to give Leaving Las Vegas a try on DVD. And if it's good, I'll definitely upgrade. I'm sure it is. Murder in the First. This is a really great old school movie. I loved this back in the day. I actually, in school, in my drama class, I played Kevin Bacon in the play version of this. It was kind of fun. He stutters like that, because they break him in prison, and then they slit his Achilles tendon. Spoiler. Should have said that first, but whatever. That's brutal. And yeah, it's a pretty cool movie about this guy who gets... I think he just wants... I think he like stole like 5 cents worth of food or something. He ends up in jail, and like they like put him in the hole for years and years and years. And I think it's the trial of trying to you know, he's an innocent man, or they're trying to free him or something like that, and just show that he's been mistreated. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I watched it. I was in the play, but that doesn't, you know, I remember his character, but I don't really remember the details exactly. So it'll be cool to rewatch this. It'll kind of be a refresher. And yeah, as you can see, Christian Slater's in this movie. Kevin Bacon's the main character. Gary Oldman, I think he's the warden, but I'm not sure. But yeah, really cool movie. And it's about the trial that shut down the dungeons of Alcatraz. So that's what it says right there. Yeah, a great little prison drama, I guess you would call that. And definitely check this movie out if you haven't. Great performances from what I remember. I definitely can't wait to throw that in and give it a rewatch. Haven't done it yet. Got it for $1. Again, this is a movie I've been dying to get a copy of. I love this movie back in the day, directed by Frank Darabont. Sorry, really, that's the guy who made The Walking Dead, The Mist, all types of cool stuff. But this is a cool, like, classic film. Like, it's made in the sort of classic cinema style, and it's kind of like a love letter to classic cinema. But it's yeah, it's a really great movie here. Jim Carrey, I think he gets in an accident of some sort, and he ends up ends up in this small town, and he looks identical to this like war hero that's like in the small town, well known by everybody. And he's the son of this guy who owns this like theater, this really classic, the Majestic Theater. And I think it's all about them trying to like build up the theater before it goes out of business. That's what I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've seen this. I had it back on VHS back in the day, but I just have never found it on DVD for a reasonable price. And then for years I just have not seen it anywhere. It was coming out on Blu-ray, but I never saw it anywhere. So to come across it for $1, mint, in one of these frickin' flipper cases, which is rare to find one of these not dinged up or, you know, like where the disc isn't fucked. But I'm pretty happy to own this. Another Jim Carrey film added onto the collection. Martin Landau is also in this movie, and he does a really great job. I think it's Martin Landau. Yep. And yeah, definitely check this movie out if you haven't. It's a little long. I think it's over 2 hours. Like almost. It's 152 minutes, so that's freaking 2.5 hours. So it's a long movie, but I think it's worth it. And if you like Jim Carrey, this is a dramatic role from him. But if you like Jim Carrey and his acting, you're probably gonna like The Majestic. Another movie here that I'm so happy to find, Run, Ronnie, Run. I never see this movie anywhere, and throughout that, like, when I was driving or going around looking at all the different pawn shops throughout those little towns, I've seen this multiple times. Never see it anywhere. Run, Ronnie, Run. This is a funny David Cross film. I think it was like an independent at the time or something. And it's just about this like hick, and that they like he's like constantly getting in trouble with the cops, and this like reality show company makes a show about him, and it's pretty funny. Scene after scene is more outrageous. There's Bob Odenkirk right there. Quite a few familiar faces will pop up throughout this. My favorite part in this movie is when Jack Black is in, I think, for a minute, and he does this he does like this song and dance thing about like those chimney sweepers, and it's really funny. But anyways, definitely check out Run, Ronnie, Run if you're into outrageous comedies. This is one that you may not have seen before. It's definitely a hidden gem, and it's super funny. Check it out. Run, Ronnie, Run. And if you, I like this movie better than Joe Dirt. I think they came out similar time periods. So, but anyways, I hear Joe Dirt 2's coming out, which strike me as odd. I'll definitely have to check it out. Here's a movie, Pathfinder, the unrated cut here on DVD that I was so happy to find. I've been dying to find a copy of this for years. I watched it when it first came out. I rented it, loved the movie, and just haven't been able to find it since. I picked it up here for $1 on DVD. I watched it too, but I was a little disappointed at the or at least watching it on HD TV. It just looks terrible. Everything's compressed. You can barely see. A lot of dark moments in this movie. So this is a movie where I just bought it, and I'm already gonna have to upgrade it to Blu-ray because I just definitely want to rewatch this properly in awesome 1080p. And this movie is pretty much a Viking versus Indian sort of story. And before Columbia came over to our part of the world in North America, Vikings did, is what the idea is. And it's about this long-lost Viking child who's raised by Indians, and then more Vikings show up eventually after he's all grown and like part of the tribe, and they massacre his family, and it's just all about him trying to save the survivors and then fight back. The Pathfinder here, Carl Urban, more well known as Bones from the new Star Trek films. Just trying to see if there's anybody else. There's a few familiar faces. I just wouldn't be able to pull any names outside of the main character here. But yeah, great classic battle movie, like lots of battle scenes throughout it. Very graphic and bloody, and just super violent overall. And yeah, it's definitely a badass movie. Check it out if you have not seen The Pathfinder, because I know a lot of people probably haven't even seen this. It came out, it looked low budget. It didn't. I don't even think it came to theaters, not around where I live anyways, and I just kind of lucked out checking it out back in the day, and I'm happy to own it for now on DVD. I will get that on Blu-ray one day, if it's even out on Blu-ray. Sure it is, but some things aren't, which really surprised me. It's like, get on it. Blu-ray's been out for a while now. Anyways, moving along. These last two DVDs that I got here are just given to me freely by I live in an apartment, and sometimes, some of the people here know that I'm really into movies, and yeah, this guy was just giving out movies, putting them on the communal shelf that we have in the main foyer, and I was walking by, and he's like, "Hey, you're into movies, right?" I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, "Here." He had a big stack, and like 8 movies, and there's a few. I grabbed 2 just because I wanted the cases because they're really nice, and I kind of replaced some shittier cased movies that I had, but I kept 2 of them. The Order here, starring Heath Ledger. From what I remember, I don't remember tons, but from what I remember, it's a movie about this like priest who he goes around kind of dealing with all the paranormal activity. I'm not even sure if that's exactly what it is. But yeah, it's been a really long time. Heath Ledger isn't making any more movies, so might as well go back and watch all the old ones that he made that really seem appealing. And like I said, I remember watching this back in the day. I just don't remember a ton about it, other than like it's about this like priest guy, and like fucked up shit that happens. But yeah, can't remember tons, so I'm not gonna sit here and stammer and try to remember. But yeah, Heath Ledger, The Order, for free, I'll take it. And the last movie here, another dead actor, unfortunately. Really sucks that Robin Williams is no longer with us, but you know, that's the way she goes, I guess. Man of the Year. Hilarious. Robin Williams gives a brilliant performance. I remember this movie pretty well. I went to see this in the theater back in the day when it first came out, and from what I remember, it's about this comedian dude who ends up like running for office. I think he becomes a president, maybe? I'm not sure. I think that's what's going on. I'm not sure. But it's a Barry Levinstein movie. Pretty good. It's got lots of cool little other actors in it. Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Walken, Louis Black, Laura Linney. Really like her in a lot of movies lately. I always seen her back in the day, but I never really appreciated her work until recently. Everything I see her in, she's just really good in it. But yeah, cool movie. Like I said, just about some comedian guy who ends up running for office, and Robin Williams doing his thing. Really great stuff here. And like I said, it really sucks Robin Williams is dead. I was a really big fan of his career, all his roles and shit, as I'm sure a lot of people were. I actually got to see him live do stand-up during one of his later comedy shows. I think it was called Weapons of Self-Destruction, I think. It was really cool anyways, made me laugh. And yeah, so I was happy to get this for free. I think I'm going to start hunting down a lot of the old Robin Williams movies that I enjoyed. Anyways, I know there's quite a few that I did like a lot, and if I see them for $1 on DVD or something like that, I'll definitely grab them. So yeah, there is a stack of stuff. A nice little upgrade section, couple new Blu-rays, and a bunch of cool DVD titles for pretty much, I didn't pay any more than $1. I think, I paid $2 for Steve-O. So pretty great overall, and hopefully somebody saw something here that they were interested in, or maybe they want to go check out. And yeah, so until the next video, I hope to see you then, and as always, be easy. Don't stop until you're numb.